Guys, today I'll be explaining to you like what do you really need to do when you daydream or when you fantasize about a crush who left you. Let's say you had a crush on someone in real life now, and then you had a moment with them, but after some time they broke your heart. But now, because they were your element of desire, like you really had this crush on them, like you really liked them. So because it's someone you fantasize about all those things with them, but now they leave you. Because they've left you, of course, the most common thing when someone leaves us is to forget about them. But for you, you can't really forget about them because you're still fantasizing about them, or they're still an object of your fantasy. So you end up getting hurt twice. Yes, you are enjoying the pleasure in the imaginary world, but in real life, you want to move on. So what do you really do? Is it really by stopping fantasizing about them, or by working on the negative emotions you have towards them in real life? Actually, it's never really about the fantasy, because you can fantasize about anything and you can't really stop a fantasy because the mind will always try to find associations with the things you've experienced or with the people you meet in real life. So the mind will always do this. But now the problem is the emotional reaction which is coming out of it. If you are feeling a bit of betrayal, if you are feeling a bit of heartbroken, or if you are feeling sad, if you are feeling lonely, if you are feeling worthless, that's where the healing is. It's not in stopping the daydreaming, or it's not even in forgetting, because you cannot really forget about someone, because a memory is just a memory. Same way like you can sometimes remember things from the past which were not hurtful. It's the same way you can remember things from the past which were hurtful. It's the same thing. But now the problem is the current interpretation of those things you remember. If you remember those things and then it triggers some emotional reaction from you, or some negative emotional reaction from you, it simply means that that's an emotion you're supposed to process. So once you process that emotion, you now get to grow. And when you grow, you realize that actually you can fantasize about them, but it doesn't really interpret, or it doesn't really mean much to you as a person. You just know that actually they were from the past. I had a crush on them and it's okay. You can feel sad sometimes, but it doesn't really affect your choices in the present moment. It doesn't really make you feel so bad or so bitter about yourself because you are fantasizing about someone who broke your heart. So the solution is not really stopping the daydreaming, it is in working in these emotional reactions you get when you fantasize about them, or when you snap out of that daydream. That's why healing is never really in the imaginary one, or is not even in the crash, forgetting about the crash. It's just in dealing with the emotional reaction you are getting. Because do you realize that sometimes there are people who hurt you in the past, but when you think about it, it doesn't really bother you? Like you are so indifferent, you are unbothered, and you are okay with it. Yeah, that's what healing looks like now. The same thing, like people will hurt you, but it doesn't really bother you as much, because you just understand that people are people and they can do whatever they want, but your responses, your reactions are up to you.